Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going on a totally mind-bending journey of escalation to uncover the true price of everything. We're going to fundamentally look at the numbers and the values we assign to our reality, and I promise you, by the end of this, the way you look at a dollar sign, it's going to be completely transformed. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so I want you to start by imagining a truly massive sum of money, $1 billion. Now picture putting away that exact amount, $1 billion, every single day of your life. If you lived to be 80 years old, you'd have saved up tens of trillions of dollars. That's enough to buy almost anything, right? Well, here's the truly wild part. Even with that unimaginable, towering mountain of cash, you would still fall short of being able to buy some of the most valuable things humanity has ever known.
Which brings us to the ultimate mystery we're solving today. What exactly deserves the title of the world's most expensive object? You know, it's a super simple question, but the answer isn't just a number. It's a countdown. One that is going to completely challenge our understanding of worth, scaling all the way up from the ordinary to the absolutely cosmic.
Okay, let's dive into this with Section 1, the value of you. To really understand the peak of financial value, we have to establish a baseline first. So chemically speaking, the basic ingredients of a human being, your carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, calcium, they're actually incredibly cheap. You could purchase all of those raw materials for a really modest amount. On paper, practically pennies. But our true, entirely incalculable value comes from our priceless complexity. See, your body contains trillions of cells, all working together in perfect microscopic coordination. There's literally no factory on Earth that can recreate that level of biological engineering. I mean, sure, governments and insurance companies, they try to assign financial values to human life, often reaching into the millions, but human value, it simply cannot be reduced to a price tag.
Moving smoothly along to Section 2, Art and Earth's Treasures.
So, while we can't put a price on a human, society absolutely puts massive price tags on physical items. Just consider a masterpiece painting for a second. Centuries ago, a simple portrait commission can become a global icon through, well, mystery, fame, and maybe a little bit of theft, eventually approaching $1 billion in value today. Crazy, right? But nature actually outpaces human artists. Deep underground, billions of years of intense geological pressure can produce a giant, flawless diamond that gets carefully divided up into royal collections, pushing its combined value into multiple billions. And then, of course, there are modern mega-mansions. These are basically private residences that resemble small cities, complete with private theaters and helipads. These symbols of extreme luxury push the scale to several billions of dollars all on their own.
But before we leave the realm of billions, we definitely have to talk about the paradox of real estate. History is literally full of vast territorial land purchases that changed hands for unbelievably low prices. Risky investments that eventually reshaped entire nations into incredible historic bargains. But fast forward to today, and the exact opposite is true. A tiny, microscopic plot of land right in the center of a major modern financial city can cost billions all by itself. Extreme demand, relentless business activity, and severely limited supply prove that sometimes context is the ultimate currency.
That brings us to Section 3, Palaces and Mega Projects.
Okay, we are officially leaving individual wealth behind now, because the scale here is just breathtaking. Think about national highway networks. Connecting thousands of miles of terrain requires investments measured in the hundreds of billions of dollars, repaying society by massively boosting trade and travel. Then you have futuristic smart cities aiming to completely reinvent human living with revolutionary designs, and their projected costs are shattering that billion-dollar ceiling to reach well into the trillions. But the absolute pinnacle of human engineering, it's orbiting high above our planet right now, an international space laboratory. This massive price tag represents countless launches and just extraordinary global teamwork. You've got thousands of engineers and astronauts from so many nations cooperating, really showing what humanity can accomplish when we all work together.
Up next, Section 4, the trillion-dollar scale.
Now, global conflict is a pretty stark reminder that enormous resources can be spent on destruction rather than progress. Between massive military spending, devastating damage to infrastructure, and vast amounts of lost productivity, the total financial impact of major global conflicts easily rises into the tens of trillions of dollars. It is a staggering, sobering cost. And while we can quantify that financial devastation, it's absolutely crucial to remember that no calculation can ever fully measure the human suffering involved. But if we are searching for the absolute apex of physical cost, like the most expensive physical substance on Earth, we have to look to the world of advanced physics.
Enter antimatter. Every ordinary particle actually has an opposite counterpart. When matter and antimatter meet, both disappear in a magnificent burst of pure energy, perfectly following Einstein's famous equation E=mc².
And this brilliantly illustrates just how demanding creating it actually is. Scientists have to accelerate particles to incredible speeds, collide them under carefully controlled conditions, and then briefly trap the microscopic amounts produced before they instantly vanish. It is extraordinarily difficult. Even after decades of nonstop research, humanity has only managed to create microscopic quantities, mostly because the production is just so painfully slow and technologically intensive.
Which leads us to a truly mind-boggling number. Because it's so difficult to produce, estimates suggest that just 1 single gram of antimatter could theoretically be worth tens of trillions of dollars. A single gram. I mean, that makes it by far the most expensive substance ever produced by humanity. We have finally reached the very top of the financial mountain.
And finally, Section 5, Beyond the Price Tag.
To truly answer the question we started with, we kind of have to zoom way out. As our journey today reminds us, a simple price tag rarely captures the true story or the true worth of an object. The greatest treasures don't always have the highest price. True value can stem from extreme rarity, like a diamond forged over billions of years. It can come from historical significance, like a masterpiece painting. It might be scientific possibility, like antimatter or a space station. And sometimes, value comes from the simple miracle of existence. Our planet contains oceans, forests, and countless forms of life. And beyond Earth, there are stars, galaxies, and asteroids holding unimaginable quantities of precious metals and energy.
The observable universe contains wealth on a scale that no number can ever truly capture. It is literally beyond calculation. So, if the universe is filled with infinite, unquantifiable riches, is the greatest treasure simply the fact that we are here to observe it? It's a question that completely redefines value. Thank you so much